Coverage that we are going to run out of tight formation is cover 4. This is also called quarters, and at Corner Canyon we call this white coverage. Okay, quarters is a zone coverage, and what we are doing is we are splitting the field into quarters. All right, or we're splitting the field into 4 quarters. The corner is responsible for this zone. The Spartan is responsible for this zone. The Bandit is responsible for this zone, and the other corner is responsible for this zone. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, and we have 4 men to defend it. All right. Okay, let's talk about our alignment for the DBs. Okay, the corners are going to be inside number 1 at 4 yards. Safeties are going to be inside number 2 at 5 yards. Easy enough. Okay, let's talk about the coverage. Corners are going to mod number 1. The safeties are going to mod number 2. Okay, what does mod coverage mean? It's up here. It's the DB will only cover the wide receiver if the wide receiver runs a route over 5 yards and enters his zone. If a wide receiver breaks inside and under 5 yards, then deliver wide receivers to linebackers and play zone. Okay, so let's talk about that first. All right. We don't care about anything that happens before this 5-yard landmark. Okay, so let me give you a few examples. Let's say that this Y runs the drag route. Okay, this is going to be the same assignments that we see in POMs. Okay, we expect the safety to reroute. Okay, cover to the edge of his zone and then pass to the mic and then get out to the flat. The mic is going to come up and reroute, cover to the edge of his zone, and then get out to the hook to curl. The will is going to do the same. We're going to get a reroute. He's going to cover him to the edge of his zone and then get to his hook to curl. This safety or this Spartan isn't going to go chase this Y. He's just going to backpedal into his quarter. Okay. And he's going to search for wide receivers to enter his zone. All right. All right. So let's look at what that could look like as well. This is a smash concept. Okay. This X is going to run a hitch. This Y is going to run a corner. What they want here is for the corner to come jump on this hitch route because it and leave this our Spartan out here one-on-one to make a difficult play against this Y out route or the corner route. Okay. But we know, right, in our rules, okay, that we only cover a wide receiver if the wide receiver runs a route over 5 yards. So even though the X is running this hitch, in the corner, you are just going to drop into your quarter or into your zone. Now, when this Y crosses 5 yards, the Spartan is gonna cover the Y, and as this Y makes his way over, okay, into the corner's quarter, the corner is also going to cover. So we're going to get a double team. All right. So if the quarterback has to make this throw, I expect an interception here. Okay. You're asking what happens if he makes this throw? Okay. To the X. That's okay. All right. We have the safe or the Sam coming into the flat, and then we will just rally to make the tackle. We don't care. We'll give up this hitch. We want to defend this route here. All right, let's look at another one. Let's look at like some sort of wheel route. Okay, so the X is going to run inside, and the Y is just going to run a wheel route. Okay, so how do we defend that? All right, the corner, you're not going to worry about the X because the X never crossed 5 yards. You're just going to drop into your quarter, And then when the Y crosses 5 yards and entering your quarter, you're just going to defend. Okay. This Spartan here, this X is not crossing the 5 yard mark. So you're just going to drop into your quarter and look for someone to enter. And then we're going to get our normal rules here, what the linebackers are going to do. Okay. All right, let's go over some other ones, some other concepts. Okay. Let's do just straight verticals. Okay. Well, this is easy. Okay, the corner is going to take the number one. The Spartan's going to take the number two. Okay, simple enough. Okay, let's talk about funneling. Okay, funneling is where the mic and the will match the A route uh, until the A crosses the line of scrimmage, and then it's man to man. Okay, so let's say that we get four verts on this side, one vert, two vert. Okay, we know that the Sam is going to try and reroute here and then get to the flat. So the Sam's going to be right about here. Okay, we know that the Spartan is going to take the number two. We know that the corner is going to take the number one. Okay, and let's say that we get some sort of flare by the running back. Okay, Mike, you're just going to match that route at the top of your zone. All right, at 5 yards. So you're just going to mirror the A, but you're not going to do anything until the quarterback either throws the ball to the A or the A crosses the line of scrimmage. Okay, so let's look at what that looks like. Okay, so let's say hypothetically that the A comes out here. Okay, the mic, you're just going to match it here. All right, now if the quarterback makes this throw, remember we said the Sam's going to be out here in the flat. Now we're just going to rally and make the tackle. Okay, what you don't want to do, this is what you do not want to do. You don't want to go behind the line of scrimmage to cover the A. You got to stay, in your hook to curl zone. You're going to match the A from the top of your zone. Okay. Now, once the A crosses the line of scrimmage, okay, let's say we get some sort of Texas route here. Now you're man to man, Mike. Now you got to go get him. Okay. So the moment that A crosses the line of scrimmage right here, okay, you're stacking, okay, and now it's one-on-one. So if he goes vertical, you got to go vertical with him. Okay, so that's funneling. Okay, and it's the same thing to the other side. If the A runs some sort of route out here, it's the Will who's going to match that route at the top of his zone and just wait for the A to cross the line of scrimmage. The Zeke will be out here in the flat. Sam will be out here in the flat. He'll be in this hook to curl zone. Okay. All right, that is cover four, also called quarters. And we're going to drill this a lot, guys. Okay. We're going to drill this a lot to make sure that we are following the rules of the mod coverage and we're not getting confused. One of the things I touched on that I'll just talk about real quick is the corner will mod the number one, but the number one can switch. This isn't necessarily the number one. Okay, it's whoever comes into his zone. Okay, so like we talked about, if X, actually, I'll do this. Okay, if X runs this kind of a route, and then the Y runs a wheel behind it, this is now the number one route. Okay, because they've effectively just switched sides. Okay, so that's another way to think about it. You're still on the number one. It's the number one wide receiver coming into your zone. Now, where this is useful to think about is if we get like some sort of cross route, okay? They do this. Okay, ideally, the corner is just going to drop. The Spartan is just going to drop, and they're going to recognize this cross, and then the Spartan is going to take the X route coming across the middle, and the corner is just going to take this corner route. Okay, because if you think about this quarters coverage philosophy, okay, this X never entered into your zone past 5 yards. He entered into the Spartan zone at 5 yards. Same thing with this Y. This Y never entered into, oops, all right? So like I said, we're going to drill it, okay? But the most important thing that you have to remember is just to follow these rules of the mod coverage. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, if the number two is attached, the only difference here, there's only two differences, okay? Uh, uh, you're still going to mod the number two, but you're going to be outside number two at 5 yards, okay? And then as we know, if the number two is attached, the Zeke is going to come up on the line of scrimmage in a 7 tech, and we're going to get a jam at the line of scrimmage, okay? So you're going to get a jam. Let's say that the Y runs like an out route here, okay? You're I apologize. Okay, so we're gonna get a jam, and then the Y goes vertical. Okay, you just go vertical with it. Okay. Okay, so now what happens if if this Y pass sets? Okay, so the Zeke is gonna go to the flat, and you're gonna come just into your quarters, and you're just gonna read the eyes and the shoulders of the quarterback and look for someone to come into your zone. Okay. So hypothetically, it could come from like somewhere out here, right? Or it could become, clear over here. You're just gonna wait for someone to enter into your zone, and then you're gonna match that route. Okay. I'll just go over one more that I just remembered. Okay. We'll go back to we'll just do it on the left side here. Okay. So you're modding number two, inside number two at 5 yards. Remember, we still have that landmark. Okay. So if this H runs an out like this, that is not your responsibility. That is the Sam's responsibility. The Sam has the flat. It's under 5 yards. You're just going to drop into your zone and wait for someone to come in. Same thing on this side. Okay. If we get a jam and then the X, runs some sort of route underneath 5 yards, it's the Zeke's job to get out there. You guys just drop into your quarters and you wait for someone to come in. All right. All right. That's cover four, also called quarters. We call it white.